Hi everyone. Okay, well, it really just all goes back to the dark versus the light. Lucifer fighting with God, the elite, the Illuminati, wanting to be gods, fighting with God, and people believing in the real Jesus Christ, who is the the way, the truth, and the light. So Vigilant Citizen here has done a lot of homework on the Israel Supreme Court, which is where the Sanhedrin court is, and the one that it was established after 1,600 years, and the one that would be to enforce the Noahide laws. And there will be, courts throughout the world. But so this new court is in Jerusalem, and he calls it a sinister sight. Oh, and notice, Vigilant Citizen, symbols rule the world, not words or laws, nor laws. And right here, if you read this first, this is really good. This explains mind control theories and techniques used by the mass media. And the people who are running the world, they just think of the masses as an ignorant herd that needs to be shaped and moved, and because they never question. So if you read this verse like he suggests, then you'll know what's going on. Elite thinkers, okay, so he describes all of them. All right, political and economic power in the United States is concentrated in the hands of a ruling elite, we know that controls most of US-based multinational corporations, major communication media, the most influential foundations, major private universities, and most public utilities. Founded in 1921, the Council of Foreign Relations is the key link between the large corporations and the federal government. It has been called a school for statesmen and comes close to being an organ of what C. Wright Mills has called the power elite, a group of men familiar in interest and outlook, shaping events from invulnerable positions behind the scenes. See, they'll always be protected. The creation of the United Nations was a council project, as well as the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. So they're going to keep shaping that how they want it too. Then, Edward Bernays, father of public relations. Okay, the conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society. He's the one that made it cool for women to smoke, like they're liberated. Okay, and then this guy, Howard Laswell, secret seminars on communications. These think tanks were funded by the Rockefeller Foundation and involved the most prominent researchers in the fields of communications and sociological studies. So if people just watch these movies and they listen to the music, and who knows, maybe they're putting all these codes and symbols in movies to keep people chasing after the these clues and trying to unravel everything while people miss out on their own power. And this is how the media ownership has changed in the past few years. Since 1983, now it's only owned by 5 corporations that control the media. So This is good to have a look at this because they know exactly what they're doing and they know exactly how to manipulate the masses. I'm not going to movies anymore. I'm not even going to watch movies anymore. The last one I saw was Wolf of Wall Street, and I wish I hadn't seen that. Okay, manipulation techniques. Everybody's got to know these. That's why I think it might be just a good idea to go talk to trees and flowers. Subliminal perception. Yep, so I have this lesson tutoring a little girl, 7 years old, and on her shirt had a cartoon character, and then it had the words S-E-X. Unbelievable. Only 7 years old. Alright, so this was a subliminal advertisement, and I thought subliminal advertising in the US was against the law, but apparently it isn't. So, okay, they are desensitizing people against violence. They're fear of violence. They're desensitizing people. That's why people have no hearts anymore. They're watching all these things that are controlling people's minds, and they're becoming desensitized to whatever. And they're being controlled by medications and tricked into thinking they have a disease, and then as soon as they start advertising the disease, then a couple weeks later they have the cure for the disease, and people buy that, spend their money on it. Look, get a brain, spelled it wrong. In conclusion, this article examined the major thinkers in the field of mass media, the media power structure, and the techniques used to manipulate the masses. I believe this information is vital to the understanding of the why and the topics discussed in The Vigilant Citizen. The mass population versus ruling class. I mean, most of us know this, but it's a good refresher. Okay, a reality that has been clearly stated in the works of some of the 20th century's most influential men. They want you watching these movies. They want you chasing after symbols so they can just relax because you're busy. You know, it's like giving a baby a toy so they won't cry, or if you don't want them to see something, you distract them with something. Okay, well, back to the Israeli court. Israel's Supreme Court. Okay, I'm just going to go through this briefly because you can go find it. Vigilant Citizen, and then you type in Israel Supreme Court, and it has nothing to do with Israel or Jews. It only has to do with the Illuminati. So it is the creation of the Rothschilds. They paid for it, and on 3 conditions. The Rothschilds were to choose the plot of land, choose their own architect, and no one would ever know the price of its construction. And why? Because the Supreme Court building is a temple of Masonic mystery religion and is built by the elite for the elite. Now what? Can't even touch this computer. It starts doing things on its own. Okay, so it was built in 1992. Okay, so 1992, and then it was it 2006? The Sanhedrin Court was restarted. Okay, well, they were getting prepared for it anyway. So the Israel Supreme Court sits in Jerusalem in front of the Knesset, Its particular architecture has earned critical praise due to the architect's opposition of old versus new, light versus shadow, and straight lines versus curves. Almost all critics and journalists have, however, omitted to mention the blatant occult symbols present all over the building. Masonic and Illuminati principles are physically embodied in numerous instances, proving without a doubt who runs the show there. In there. Well, they run the show everywhere. House of Rothschilds. Okay, you can read about the House of Rothschilds. And let's go. There they are looking at a model. Okay, this looks interesting. Jerry Golden wrote several years ago on this Israeli Supreme Court, appropriately pointing out its occult concepts. When you study those types of buildings, you quickly realize that the same themes inevitably reappear. Illumination, pyramid, ascent, the number 13 or 33, phallic, yonic symbols, etc. The building has it all and more. Okay, path to illumination. Okay, so here is the pyramid, here's the eye. Darkness to light, stairway. I'm going fast because I have to go somewhere. Okay, the library has 3 tiers of the library, and only retired judges can go on the 3rd tier, which represents the 31st, 32nd, and 33rd degree, supposedly. First level is reserved for lawyers, second reserved for judges, and the books on the 3rd level can only be read by retired judges. You know, comparing it to initiates. Okay, the library contains legal, judicial, philosophical, and spiritual works. So I'm sure the Noahide laws will be in there. Look at this pyramid and the eye. Isn't that incredible? Then there's sacred geometry patterns. So, you know, I love sacred geometry, but it doesn't mean that it's evil. Why does they get to claim everything? You know, the pyramid and the triangle is one of the strongest forms ever. You know, if you have a rectangle like a house, you shape it like a rectangle and you press on top of it, it will collapse in the center. If you have a triangle shape with a apex, when you push down on it, it stays strong. Judges bringing illumination. The prison cells. The prison cells, courtroom, and the judges' quarters are placed one on top of the other, symbolizing the threefold nature of the world. The inmates are stuck in cells, symbolizing the prison of the lower material world. The courtrooms, of course, we transcend this through Jesus Christ. The courtrooms placed right over the prison cells represent the higher world where divinity gets in touch with humanity. All right, here's the fertility symbol. Okay, in the middle of the stairway is the shape of Vesica Pisces, representing female genitals penetrated by a column, a phallic symbol. This is an obvious fertility symbol, a union of the male and female principles. Numerous occult temples insert a fertility symbol in their lower floor. See the Manitoba Legislative Building or Washington Capitol. But wait, there's usually a rotunda along with the fertility symbol. Oh, there is. There it is. Okay. So there's the rotunda. Outside the Dorothy de Rothschild Grove, there's the obelisk. Gotta have an obelisk. And the courtyard And the trampled cross, here's the cross, so people walk on it. Okay, Jerry Golden, his research looks interesting. I would like to check that out. Okay, occult secret societies have historically been at odds with the Christian Church, who repeatedly persecuted and accused them of all sorts of heresies. During the Middle Ages, the Knights Templar, ancestors of Freemasonry, have been accused by the Archbishop of Canterbury of numerous anti-Christian deeds, including trampling the cross underfoot during their initiation processes. Are they poking back at Christianity with this symbol? Well, the Knights Templar, you know, they called themselves Christians, and they abstained from sex so they would have more power. And they're still around. Okay, among the ancient mysteries, pomegranate was also considered to be a divine symbol of such peculiar significance that its true explanation could not be divulged. Wow. When I was a kid, we had a pomegranate tree in the backyard. I loved it. Many Greek gods and goddesses are depicted holding the fruit or flower of the pomegranate in their hands, evidently to signify that they are givers of life and plenty. This is all pagan stuff. Pomegranate capitals were placed upon the pillars of Jachin and Boaz, standing in front of King Solomon's temple. And by the order of Jehovah, pomegranate blossoms were embroidered upon the bottom of the high priest's. What is this? I don't know. Oh, that's from Manly P. Hall, Secret Teaching of the Ages. So, let's see. Now, here's Albert Pike, Morals and Dogma, talking about the pomegranate, sacred symbol to the Hindus and Egyptians. It's all like superstition and, you know, but these things can draw out powerful powers, dark forces. They're all around. Okay, this article barely scratches the surface of the occult symbolism of the Israeli Supreme Court. Remember, built by the Rothschilds. It is, however, clear that the building's architecture carries important symbolism relating to spirituality and the attainment of illumination, the Luciferian illumination. There are no religious monuments relating to Judaism or any organized religion. The Supreme Court is a temple of the mysteries, which are an amalgamation of pagan rituals interlaced with an esoteric interpretation of the scriptures. Teaching of the mysteries is reserved to members of occult secret societies, which the Rothschilds are obviously part of. The esoteric meaning of this building is concealed from the public, but it's not concealed from the public if you learn about it. It unmistakably reveals to the initiates who possess real power in the world. But we're not of this world. This world is, you know, belongs to the evil ones, the dark ones. So have a look at that. I hope you like it. Vigilant Citizen has done a lot of other work that I haven't really explored either. But, okay, Senator Sites, Picks of the Month, Hidden Knowledge. Interesting. I don't know if they're on YouTube or not, but anyway, God bless you all. Thank you for watching, and be safe, and you know what's coming, and learn all you can so that these freaks can't control you. Bye for now. God bless.